Hey you guys, my name is Brianna, which means high, exalted, noble, and strong. Today I'm making a video about a dream that the devil sent me. I have received dreams from God and the devil. So if you're going to have this gift from God, you're going to have to be able to discern between dreams from the devil and dreams from God. I've noticed that dreams from the devil, within those dreams, it's more lifelike. It feels like I'm awake. When it's dreams from God, it feels more spiritual and there's a message. And I feel like my brain and my heart are connected and there's wisdom in it. That's what I feel. Wisdom and discernment is very important when it comes to these dreams. You don't want to be thinking that you received some enlightenment and some knowledge and it was a dream from the devil. And that's what I did in this video. That's what I did with this dream. So let's get right into it. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. So at the time of this dream, I was staying at my mom's house. I had just gotten back from the first flight attendant training that I ever tried out. And I was in a toxic, unhealthy situation. So I was attempting to have about 3 jobs so I can be at the house as much as possible. I did get a job at Walmart. It was more of a temporary job. I was going to be a part of the remodeling team. At this time, I was walking like a mile and a half every day to get to this job, even though everybody in the house had a car, but nobody wanted to help me out. So I was doing what I had to do. And so when I would come back, I would be very, very tired. So this particular night, I was very tired, went to sleep, and had this dream. In this dream, me and this man that looked like Chris Brown, he looked like Chris Brown with some extra head on the back. He was very attractive, but he had a big old head. And we were sitting on the bench. It was the back view, the back side view of us. So you could see like this of us. He was in front of me. I was in front of him. And it was the back of the bench that it looked like a filming scene. And we were sitting at that bench and we were kissing passionately, no talking at all, no nothing. We were just kissing passionately. Like you could feel the passion from the dream. And so I woke up so joyful, so happy about this dream because I was so stupid at this time. I had just gotten in a relationship and I had just realized that I am no longer dating to date. I'm dating to marry. So I'm waiting for God to send me my husband. So in my mind, when I have this dream, I'm like, ooh wee, this is my husband. He's very attractive. He's my type, which is my type is more personality rather than looks. But I was like, he's my type. I could do that. I could do that right there. And I was just settled on that. So after I had this dream and I woke up joyful, I took another step into dum dum, and started walking on the path where I was watching YouTube videos, where all types of YouTube videos talking about I had a dream about my husband, and there were so many people talking about how this dream is your husband and this dream means you have found your husband. It was like half of the people who were in that Looney Tune phase where I look back on those people and I'm just like, you're really leading people to some some crazy stuff. And you shouldn't be posting videos like this is crazy. And the fact that you got so many views is like, that's scary. But on the other side, there was people that were logical and were like, yes, you can have dreams of people, and sometimes it could be your husband. Sometimes you can have dreams of people, and it just means that God's going to send you your person, and it doesn't look nothing like your person. And there's different ways for you to know. Just wait and be patient, and stop calling everybody your husband just because you had a dream about somebody that doesn't mean your husband. So I was ignoring the logical people, and I was into the Looney Tune people. Like, yes, I'm getting my husband pretty soon. Need I remind you guys, I'm homeless, just got a relationship, just woke up, and thinking that it's time for me to have a husband. For me, I do believe that you can have a dream about your husband because there was some logical people that did have a dream about their husband and then met their husband. But in my case, if I'm thinking with wisdom on my situation, there's no way that I was ready. God wants us not to be out here trying to force things. He's just gonna bring it to us, our person. And it's gonna be so smooth, so easy because it's our person. So I got into all that and I was in that deep. And I was still working at Walmart, but I was doing that as well. that was like my part-time job on YouTube, trying to prove that this was my husband. And then I was working all the time as well. I just had a realization too around this time when I was deep into the videos where it was the Looney Tune people. I came across a video from a woman who was real about it and was just like, yes, you can have a dream. Because she had a dream personally, but her husband didn't look like the the guy that God sent her in a dream. It looked like he looked different, but he came soon after. And she said that she was like speaking logic. She was speaking a lot of logic. And so much so it convicted me and it upset me. And so I did get a little bit upset with God. I didn't get disrespectful, but I had the feeling like God was like playing with me, like you playing with me with this dream, like you send me this dream, and then you send me these videos where I get some realization where people talking about it, and it's convicting me. So what was the dream for? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, why are you playing with me? What's the dream for? And I just realized that the videos from the logic people were not God playing with me. It was God trying to help me realize that this dream was not from him. This dream had nothing to do with him. Moving on. So one day I'm about to get off at Walmart. I didn't have a car at this time, and my family, they would play and pick me up sometimes, but they would try to take me on these adventures or something weird, or keep me waiting, or show me how upset they were when they would pick me up. So I was Ubering the majority of the time. So before I would leave, I would go sit in this little area that was in front of Walmart. It looked like a little break area, and the break area was right next to the return section. So I'm sitting in the little break area and I'm getting ready to go. And I just so happen to look up and a guy walks by. He looks exactly like the guy from my dream. And I'm like, what the heck? So he walks by and he goes into the return section. It's right next to the area that I was sitting in. So I get up because I actually had to use the restroom anyway. And I go to the restroom that's on the other side of the return section to also double check and see if that was him. And so as I'm walking by him, he sees me and he's like looking at me with amazement and admiration, like he's like really attracted to me. And I see him and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that really does look like him. I go to the restroom and I come back and I double check to make sure if this looks like this guy from my dream. And it does. It looked exactly like him. So I'm over the moon at this point. I'm like, what the heck? I end up, I think he ends up leaving first. He does what is doing at the return, and he ends up leaving. And I got another chance to see him, and I'm just like, what the heck? That looks exactly like the guy from my dream. That's crazy. And so I'm so over the moon. I'm like, well, we seen each other for the first time. Since we're meant to be, and he was in my dream, I'm gonna see him again. So at this current time, there was a LA Fitness that was right next to my mother's house. So when I wasn't at work, I was at the LA Fitness, and I was doing a lot of walking. I was walking like a mile to work, then I was walking like a mile to the LA Fitness just to get away. And I didn't really like that LA Fitness. It was okay, but the setup was just janky. It was better than a Planet Fitness, but to be paying all that money, it was very janky. I was like already uncomfortable there. Then God fixed my car. Y'all, point blank period, God fixed my car. That's a whole nother story, but he fixed my car. So I was rolling again and rolling nicely. So I had came across a 24-hour fitness that was down the street another way. And I had a feeling about this 24-hour fitness. And when I first went into it, it was an athletic 24-hour fitness. And y'all, I am a gym rat. I like to go to the gym and see other athletic people and they're getting it and they're so into their workout that they're not messing with you. And you can learn things from them because you can sit there and like glance over at a workout they're doing, like, I'm gonna do that next week. Oh, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Y'all just sitting there pumping it up. And it's some like true workout going on here. I love gyms like that. And that's exactly what that type of gym was. So I really love that gym. So one day I'm in there pumping it up on that pre-workout, losing my mind, but losing and gaining my mind at the same time. And I'm doing the back extension machine. Boom, boom. And it's right at the entrance, but for some reason your butt and your back face the door, which is kind of provocative. I didn't really like that, but it was what it was. I needed to do the machine. And as I'm doing the extension, I'm coming up on one of my last sets, and a dude walks by. And I see him at the corner of my eye. I have a good corner of the eye. And it looks just like the man from Walmart. I'm like, no way. There's no this gym was close, kind of close to the Walmart as well. But I'm like in my head, like, no way. There's no way. There's no way that's him. So he walks past and I finish my set and I end up getting up to look up and I look up and I see him. He's sitting next to the machine that I was gonna go to next. And he's sitting there like doing some type of stretch and facing towards me. And we both see each other. I'm just like, what the heck? It's him again. And I'm just like, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. And I gotta go over here to this machine next. So I still go over to the machine that I had to go next. I was gonna go there regardless. And I started doing that machine. And once again, he's checking me out, looking at me with admiration. And I do some type of thing where I finish up my exercise because that was my last exercise for the day. And I leave because I'm like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. I thought I was so cute going to my little car when I was mainly a majority living in my car at that point. So after that day, I'm like, okay, I feel like he comes in later because I don't know. You know, everybody comes to the gym later just so it could be a dating show. I was coming in early to the gym because I was really there to work out. So I'm like thinking in my head, okay, so he comes in later, so I'm gonna start going a little bit later so I can catch him again. So I start going in later for the whole next week, didn't see him at all. I'm like, what the heck? And then so it finally clicks in my head, maybe he goes in the time that I go in. I just had never catched him before. Or maybe he's going in the time at the time that he saw me to try to catch me again. So the next week after that, I start going back in at the time that I was going, which was like at 11 a.m. And I seen him again. So I'm like, oh, okay. So he's coming in at the time that he saw me just to catch me. So cool. So next time I see him, I'm holding one of those long barbell weights and taking it back to re-rack it. He comes and he takes the weight from me and re-racks it for me. And I'm just like, oh, God, you got me a good man. Oh, I've always wanted a man to come in here and re-rack the weight for me. You don't know how much that means to me. Didn't say nothing to me. That's all he did. And I kind of like walked away too because that was a little bit awkward. But it did tickle my pickle. And so for the next times that we were there, it was a lot of confusion. Like he would come in, he would check me out. He would come in, he would ignore me. He would come in and be with this other lady that would randomly come in with him sometimes, but would they didn't. It gave sister and brother, but it gave I don't know, maybe I should ask type stuff. So there was a lot of confusion going on, and it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm doing things to try to be like, I'm not gonna do to be too forward. I'm not gonna try to talk to you first because I want to be the woman. I'm looking for my husband. I want to be courted. So I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna try to like, give you eye contact, but that's all I'm gonna give. But on his end, it was very confusing, back and forth, up and down, and all that. And we should know the devil always works in confusion. So after so long of doing all that back and forth and driving me crazy, I called him doing a stair machine. He did the stair machine a lot. And so I finally just walked over to the stair machine and get on the stair machine that's next to him. Like, go ahead and talk to me. Let's get this over with. Let's go. Are we going to do this or are we not going to do this? And something that I noticed on the stair machine is he was attractive, but y'all know when like he was really attractive, but y'all know when somebody is stressed a lot of their life and it's like their face wears out. Like it's like they're it's like their face is tired from stressing so much in their life. Basically, that's what he looked like. And me being all head over heels, I was like, I could look past that. I could look past that. So I get on the stair machine and he go ahead and finally like he asked me what my name was and I was like Brianna. And I asked him what his was and he was like, and I remember thinking in my head, I was just like, I do not like that name. I really don't like that name for my husband. That's a thought that was like very strong in my mind. Like, oof, we're gonna have to work around that, but okay. And then what was the second question he asked me? Oh, he asked me my age. So I told him my age. I was 28 at the time, I believe. Yeah, probably like 28. And he was like 40. I was like, oh, he looked tired and stressed, but he looked very young. But he was like 40. And I was like, oh, that's nothing we work around, but okay. And the last thing he asked me, he was like, no, he's like, put your number in my phone. And I did something that I thought was like cute and feisty. I was just like, you not even gonna ask? You just gonna tell me? And so he looks to the side, like he throws his face to the side, like that. And we're on the stairmaster, so we're both walking up the stairmaster. When he throws his face to the side, I don't see the face he's making, but I think he's doing a jokingly annoyed face, like, oh, this girl's a lot, or this girl's doing too much, or something like that, but in a joking way. That's what I thought he was doing. And so he did that like 3 times when he asked for my number, told me to put my number in his phone 3 times. And the third time, he just gave me his phone, and I just put my number in, and I was just like, oh, I guess, whatever. So that same day, I ended up going to, he had my number. So he left right after that. And then I left, and I had somewhere to be. I had another interview at Burlington Coat Factory. He texted me a little bit before I went into the interview, like, hey, what's up? And the first thing that he asked me, like after saying, hey, was, what do you do for work? And so I was brutally honest. I told him all the little jobs that I was doing at that time. And it was a lot of jobs. And it was a lot of low end jobs. But that's what I was doing at the time. And I'm going to be honest. And if you're my husband, you're going to be okay with that. And so we just kept talking. And as I'm going in, walking into the interview, we're still like, I sent my last text message to him. And I'm walking in into the interview, and I put my phone on silent because I'm walking in for an interview. I went in there, got the job, and I come back, and I didn't see a response from him to my text message. So I'm like, what the heck? Okay, that's weird. He didn't respond to me for the whole rest of the day. And so, y'all, I'm going through it like, oh my gosh, I guess it was that was it. I guess it's not my husband, up and down, doing Uber. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm stopping at in parking lots like, oh, it's over. That's all it was. It's my husband. What happened? What happened? Oh gosh, I'm so stupid. And so he finally takes back at the end of the day to talk more about work and talk more about uh being strict about what he does for work and how he lives and what he does and how much money he makes and all this other stuff. And I'm just like in my head, like, okay, how many times are we gonna talk about how much you make and talk about money? And anytime I would bring up something like family, what are your thoughts on life? It would be dry. There was no vibe. There was no liveliness. It was all about money, work, and what you're living in. Weird. And I skipped something. In that time that he hadn't responded to me, I got a little crazy, and I went and found him on social media. I found his information from his number on the internet. Then with his information, it told me that he was like a realtor that flips houses in Houston. Then um, that information brought me to his Instagram, and I saw that he had like a child on Instagram. So that lady could have been his sister or his baby mom. I don't know, because she was nowhere to be found on the page, which is weird. But when I looked at his child, he would post videos of like the child like playing, like just doing little quotes like children need to play. They need to play. But the child looked stressed. The child had like bags under his eyes. And the child looked tired too. So I'm like, what the heck is this? We gonna work past it. This is my husband. We gonna work past it. Oh my gosh. Fast forward back to he finally texts back, and we talking about work again. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's just such a boring, vibeless conversation. But I keep going with it because I feel like I was sent a dream about this man from God. This is my husband. We're gonna work past it. We're gonna work on it. And that night I was trying to be cute and show that I wasn't doing too much with talking to him. So I was like, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow and have a good night. And I just said like a little joke, but he just said he didn't respond or he said like a dry bye or something like that. So after that, I went back to his Instagram and I found another page to him where he was doing interviews from people that were making money in Houston and how they were making money. I get, the whole black thing where, we're just gonna get together and make money, and I'm gonna interview people who are making money. We out here getting money, getting money. That's all that their mindset is. I get it. Some people just want to have a lot of money, but what is on the inside? Where is your logic at? If you get a lot of money from that type of mindset, I'm all for it. But if you just get money from doing whatever, I could care less. So some people were interviewing him because he made a lot of money. And you could tell the people, like when I watched the first video of him getting interviewed by this guy, the guy was kind of trying to be lively because it was his network or whatever that he was doing an interview on, and he was so dry, like he was just sitting there like this before the interview started, and then when it was time for him to talk, he just started talking, but it was so weird. Like his energy was weird and lifeless and creepy. And you could tell the guy that was doing the interview was doing the interview because it was gonna make him some money, but he was creeped out by his energy and his vibe. Then there was another video that he was doing an interviewing, and he was doing the interview with another guy sitting next to him, but him and the guy were interviewing this girl, and the girl was making a lot of money doing something, and she had either had a baby or planned to have a baby in a marriage. And he asked her, he was like, and when you have this baby, are you gonna keep working? Are you gonna just stop working and try to stay home after you have this baby? Like, and the girl gave that dumb answer. No, I'm gonna keep working. I want to keep making my money after I have kids, but I'm gonna take a little break. And she was kind of like in a responding in a way like, calm down. Like, I am gonna have a whole baby, so I'm gonna have to chill for a little bit, but I'm gonna get back to working eventually. And he was like trying to make sure that she was gonna keep working after she had kids and keep up with the 50-50. I was just like, oh my gosh, from watching the video, I'm just like, that's a lot, but we're gonna work past it. Oh, we gonna work past it. So the next day, um, we started texting in the morning. I forgot how we started texting in the morning, and he he we got to the topic of having somebody in our life, like having a spouse. And so I asked him, I was like, are you single? Because I've been wanting to ask this question, because who is this mystery girl that you come in from time to time with? That's weird. And y'all like, y'all barely interact with each other, but it was weird. I don't know what it was. And so I asked him, I was like, are you single? And he reversed the question and asked me if I was single. He didn't answer. And I was like, I asked you first. And I said mine in a joke way, like, I asked you first. You gotta ask. I mean, you gotta answer first. And so he just changed the subject. And I was like, that's weird. And so I ended up going to the gym shortly after that. And I was like, I'm at the gym right now. If you come to the gym, since you playing so much, I'm gonna beat you up when you get here, in a jokingly way. And every time he would respond, it would be serious. And it got to the point when he got to the gym, I joking, was like, when I seen him at the gym, I was like, I was just kidding about beating you up, LOL. And he was like, yeah, I bet you were kidding. I bet you were kidding. And he didn't talk to me the whole time that he was at the gym. And then when he seen that I was there, he left. And so when he left, I was texting him again. And we got back to the topic of, are you single or are you not single? And he didn't want to answer again. So I responded to him. I was like, all right, Mr. His name, I'm done. You have a nice life. And yeah, this is it for me. And then so I blocked him and I never went back to that gym again. I didn't go back to the gym again because just something in my heart told me this man is evil. This man has a dark presence. You don't know what he'll do if you see him again. So go ahead and get all your get all your stuff out that gym locker and start going to a different 24 because there's something wrong with that man. And there was a whole lot of flags that were flagging. And just because I had a dream about this man, I was thinking that he was sent from God. But after sitting down, collecting my thoughts, and gaining some more knowledge from God, I've come to realization this dream was full fledged from the devil. I've always received dreams. And before I woke up, I think I really only received dreams from God. Like a majority, like from God, I think so. But once I woke up, the devil has been sending me dreams, and there's been a lot of spiritual warfare. So I'm pretty sure that's why he sent this man. My ex is a narcissist, and this man seemed to be way worse. Seemed like a very evil man. And yeah, I learned a lot. See why God allowed it to happen. But as of right now, we're doing work on you, and there's some work that you need to do for other people as well. So that's what my focus is, and that's where he angled my focus after the situation. So it gave me knowledge at the end of the day. Use that discernment because he wanted to use that dream to get me into a relationship with this man to where who knows what would have happened to me if I would have kept going. It lasted for 2 days. I thank God that I was strong enough to be able to just cut it like cake like that. I had to cut ties with him in my gym, but it is what it is. The devil is going to try to stop you in any way that he knows is the best way to stop you personally. And that was a good way to angle me, but it didn't work. Anywho, guys, like and subscribe. Comment if there was any red flags that I missed that you guys saw way before, or comment if you've ever been in a situation like this. But yeah, when you guys like and subscribe, it's gonna push my video out in the algorithm and help me out in ways more than you know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace. Hey, you guys. My name is Brianna, which means test, 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 test. Help me, please. But thinking that that was my husband. Uh, subscribe. No, like and subscribe. No.